lounging, son.
All right, welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name is Ryan. Back with me again, my awesome co-host Eli.
Hey-o!
And we're going through another issue of TMNT Vol.4. This time we're going through issue number 7 as we continue our read-through of this fucking awesome series. Say it every episode, but super stoked to be doing this, having a blast. It's so fun, like, people commenting on it, on social media too, like the people that are talking about it, people showing the issues that they have on Facebook. It's pretty cool. So
yeah, it's been great.
So another pretty fun issue. This cover is probably one of my favorite covers of the series.
Yeah, very awesome.
I love seeing first of all, Michael Dooney again killing it, but I love seeing the turtles like this. Like, I remember when I first got it, I was like, what the hell is this? Why are they just like superheroes?
And I think it's something that they've wanted to do for a while, and even like toyed with back in the TMNT the Playmates toy line from back in the day. Some of there's like a couple superhero figures like this.
Yeah, I remember I know there was a Michelangelo one with like a blue and red costume.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was a Donatello.
There was a Don that kind of looked like Batman. He had like darker.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. So, yeah, great cover. And you find out immediately what the whole deal is with this as we get into it. So,
yeah, and I think that this issue, they use like digital tones, at least for like this.
It feels that way.
This first part, it really seems like, yeah, they're using like a different technology to set it apart to make it feel like, what it turns out to be.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because like you look at it and it's completely different than anything we've seen prior in this series.
Absolutely.
Maybe doesn't like look as good on camera, but like, yeah, the tones on here are definitely different.
Yeah, and there's like, yeah, they're able to work with them and put a shine in there. Yeah, there's definitely some digital toning, something going on. I'd love to learn more, and definitely some major Kirby crackle and Kirby influence going on. Now I hit you up with those Stupid Heroes Peter Laird books. You take a look at them?
I haven't yet, because I was going to ask if you want to do an episode, so I wanted it to be fresh on my mind, so I was kind of saving. I wanted to talk to you first.
I feel like there's some influence from that into these.
Yeah, I love, we get, it's literally almost a recreation of what we have on the cover, with the exception of like what they're standing on. Like here, it's like, it looks like a volcano almost. Here, it's, you got a different background, but like same pose. Shelectro is the name of this one. Yeah. I think Graviturtle is over here.
Yeah, there's some amazing.
Yeah.
Gridex,
yeah. Bloboid,
yeah,
right here. So like really fucking funny ass names of these turtles, and like their Graviturtle is the one
with the like
narrating it.
Suit.
Yeah, he's the one narrating everything.
Yeah,
and I love this. You're dead, super freaks.
And it's kind of like the Turtles #1, the way it starts too, where it's like the first person narrative, like we made a wrong turn, or we did the wrong thing, and the purple dragons are up against us or something.
You could flip over and you got this group. Who the hell are the Terror Kinetics? You got this shit, dude.
It's so awesome. Great. Yeah,
it's so good.
I mean, so Kirby-esque, like absolutely Kirby-esque, having the 1-page spread and then the 2-page spread. That's something I learned from the Turtles, and then learned that they learned it from Kirby, and then like I did my research and then I started doing it myself. But it's,
yeah, I love that. That's one of the things I love about Kirby. I was reading some old Cap Kirby stuff, like when he came back in the 70s, and I just like, I was like looking, I'm like, oh, I fucking love these old pages, dude. But
yes,
it's Dr. Shredderus or Shredderius, I guess. I don't know how you say it. Slatherine, Frizbat, Armorga, Net, and 9.
So great, man. Just amazing. Like, clearly they're having like a lot of fun with this. Peter Laird's like, let's just do whatever the hell we want. Like, that's we're the people that are having fun. Let's make the comics we want, and they're fucking doing it. It's awesome.
Yeah, and as you have the narration, it's like, this is gonna take all the super turtle power we can muster, and then some.
And then they're battling, and Yeah, it's just kind of like, oh my god, this is just like nonstop superhero action kind of thing, like the same kind of like crosstalk that you would, get from a superhero story.
Yeah, just nothing. You still, and I love it because like you're already fucking 5 pages in, and you don't really know why this is happening, what's going on, who they are, and it continues for a few pages. Like almost
Yeah.
a little, like a quarter of the book, a third of the book is this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's like great. It's another thing that they can just do with this book. They can go anywhere. And I can't remember if it leads to like, what is it called? The like battle universe or whatever later on that comes up or something. But I feel like these turtles return in another issue of this series, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I feel like you're right.
Yeah.
I can't remember either.
My zap power is barely slowing him down.
Yeah.
So fun. And I feel like this is something that Peter Laird, I remember reading in an interview that this was something they wanted to do with Volume 1. There was like a Wrestling Turtles, alternate from the Stump Asteroid Turtles. There was some other stuff that they wanted to do. And I think he's kind of just like, anything we didn't do before, let's just get it in now.
Yeah, no, I mean it's great. And I love, as we're gonna go through, like when you find out what it is, that's also pretty crazy too.
Mm-hmm. And they're just continuing the battle. We're kind of seeing them use their powers. Watch out, Grav. He's coming back. Just super fun.
Allow me to put my best foot forward.
He just slam. Yeah. I mean, these little one-liners are exactly what superhero comics were like in this era. They're definitely
it's just a blast, dude. Yeah.
Hitting up like the 60s style action. And then on this page, it starts getting wild.
Yeah, and like
it feels like we're being watched.
Yeah, dude, it's weird. And you're like, what is this? What's going on? And
could it be Invisibird? No, that Fowl's goose got permanently cooked the last time we met. So good. And then we get this kind of like this like fade out through the galaxy, through maybe a wormhole, through something into an eye, an Utrom eye.
I love, again, this is still Kirby. This whole panel right here.
Oh yeah,
that's Kirby technology stuff type deal, with Lawson's flair. So it's not exactly what you would see with Kirby, but it's definitely a Kirby influence, you can tell. And that's crazy because it's like then you pan out and it's like, pretty sure that's Donnie saying that it looks like transmat machinery. Oh yeah, it's Donnie saying that. And then they're talking about, what is this particular Utrom doing? He's in his research lab. But why? Like, what is that? Like, what are they looking at, dude?
Yeah. Oh, that's just young Glorin, one of the brightest lads. He's looking into to kind of like other galaxies, other universes, the translocation matrix. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's crazy that like the way that he looks, it's almost like he's God in that sense, looking over this world. Like that's the technology that they have, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, they felt like that they were still being watched, so they felt his presence almost. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I, like talking about, he's obsessing about the shape of subsurface carrier, something like that, right? And like Donnie, obviously he can relate because he's a science nerd.
Yeah, they kind of both are, that's why I like Honeycutt and Donnie always kind of got along and got to,
yeah,
and they're on their way here to April's room.
Yeah, and like they want to, like, can you flush out the Stockman's nanobots? And like, he's optimistic, but like they have to be very cautious. Like they don't know how they're going to be able to get these nanobots out of her, and she's like still under sedation, in the bed as they're trying to figure out what they're going to do.
Yeah, and Casey's on the phone, like, with her family, trying to be like, can you guys come out? There's like, April. There's some stuff going on with April. Yeah, her sister. Yeah. And I just love seeing the Utroms in their different, like rigs. Like this guy's definitely like a doctor. He's got kind of like, I don't know, he's got some machinery back there, maybe for sedation or shots or something like that.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's so cool to see the development of these characters. This isn't Krang, and these are people, and they're good and bad. All right, they continue. They're kind of like looking over the scans. We're getting the lowdown here.
Yeah, it's funny too, because like he mentions like the nanobots have become more active because they know they're being observed.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're alive. They're creatures. They're the Heisenberg uncertainty effect. I believe that isn't Heisenberg like that used. It's kind of like a cover-all term used in science fiction to explain away anything. Like something in Star Trek they use a lot is the Heisenberg compensators, and it's just kind of like it can do anything to just kind of get you out of a situation. It's one of those kind of cover all things in science fiction.
Oh, it's interesting. I don't think I've ever like paid attention to that, but yeah, now that you say it, it makes sense.
Good old Star Trek.
Yeah.
So we got this cool diagram. It's kind of showing us like they are in every part of her body. Assaults on her brain and nervous system. So it's like we can't just kind of
it's all
bring
these
them
black
out.
spots, right? Like that's the nanobots.
Oh man, I thought it was the other, but yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, because you can see like the veins in the other spot.
Oh,
so
true,
it makes sense that like these little splotches are where they are. Like they're in her hands, they're in her brain, they're right in her midsection, which would make sense about her fertility.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true.
And yeah, dude, they've assaulted her brain, her nervous. Like that's crazy, dude.
Yeah. And so that is now rendering her unconscious, comatose. And they're just like, dudes, we don't know if we get these out, what effect is it going to have on her, and they need her sister to kind of get these base scans of what it could be like to like what kind of readings we would want when we bring her out of this. In case he's just like, what?
Yeah, that panel, the close-up of him.
Yeah, so much emotion.
We go back to Metalhead, stainless steel, Splinter making some tea, dude. It's always making tea.
Splinter loves tea. And Stainless Steve's like bending these spoons, he's like, none of them are happy with what's going on the same way that, parents are like never happy to hang out with like the boyfriend alone. They're like, what do we talk about here?
Yeah. Yeah. Splinter is the only one that's like kind of chill. It's like, come on, you're frightening him.
Yeah, he's got to be, he's got to be in this situation because he's the one that's like the strange one, or he's the one that's probably like, I guess they all have their.
But he's the most like outlandish looking one,
For
of
sure.
the three.
Now, I think Stainless Steve has this circle in his head, which is like metal.
Yes.
So he definitely, yeah. So like they all have something about him visually that's also a little strange. And he's like, I was just hiking, doing some target shooting in the woods. And he's like, well,
Yeah. And when I realized I lived near Shadow, I figured, well,
might as well do a little spying. He's like, I maybe I'd buy that, but like,
it wasn't on a hunting rifle. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, like you should have. And Splinter's just, the voice of reason as always. You should have respected Shadow's reluctance. Like, it's easy to see how she had these feelings. So like, you should have given her time and trusted her.
And Splinter he's the only one of the three that's like, we got nothing to worry about with this dude. Like, it's fine. Metalhead, let him go. And I love Stainless Steve. He's like, don't even try to move.
And he's like, kind of like, you're a rat, right? Not like a dog, which I think is a reference to how many people referred to the way he was drawn and being like, he looks more like a dog than he does a cat, a rat,
Yeah,
like,
he did look like a dog.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of like another funny in joke like that.
Yeah. And then I love this, like, would you like some tea? It'll soothe you. He's like, oh, yeah, thank you. He's like, you know what? Drink some tea. Let me tell you a story. And I love that because the story he's about to tell. He's about to tell the story of the turtles.
Yeah. It's cue the track from the Turtles soundtrack where it's like boom. He's like, I was a rat in Amato Yoshi's cage.
I know that
and
music's
four
like
baby turtles. And also, like, let me tell you a story is how every issue of Tales from the TMNT starts too, where they got that frontispiece and then they say, get a little intro. All right, back on April, the home of the nanobot uprising, and we see her sister, Robin. Is this her first appearance? I kind of think. No, wait. She talks to her on the phone in some of those later volume 1 issues, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember seeing her, but it's been a while since I've read like the
Yeah.
later issues of volume 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, like she's here. I love that they asked like, why can't you use the transmog gizmo to just beam them out?
Right.
And it's like, well, it's not as easy as that, like
Yeah, it's not as exact. All
here
right, so
we
the
go.
doctor comes in. Yep. And guess what? They're not compatible.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy, dude. He talks about like, most you'll see a 0 to 10% variance, which is typical for most human siblings. Instead, our test can conclusively show a greater than 99% genetic variance between them. Like, there's
Right.
no way they're related. And like
Right.
Robin doesn't even know. Like, well,
And she's like, wait a second.
yeah.
99% not alike. So what does that mean? Bitch, you ain't sisters.
Yeah. Crazy, dude.
And they're all like,
And I feel like there's a story from that spins from this, like in terms of like April being who she is. I can't remember though; it's been so long.
Oh, you can't remember the April shit from volume 4. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't remember it, so I'm excited.
Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
so very interesting, and I'm excited to get there because it was a reveal that I'll never forget because it calls back to one of my favorite issues ever. And it's an interesting place to go with it.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive into that too because you know what? It maybe it was one of the issues I didn't have, but I picked up recently.
Ooh.
Because I was missing some, and I knew that we were going to be doing this, so I just bought them and put them in the box until we got to it. So that might have been what it was.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, this is another great issue. I love the cliffhangers that he leaves us on.
Yeah, it is interesting here in the letters column. It does say that like Leo's history of conflict with Che Ocho will be revealed in future issues. So that was like a kind of thing that, and I feel like they're doing it a little bit here. They're setting up little things that they can explore in Tales from the TMNT Volume 2. So that history was not revealed yet at this point. Mm-hmm. So, when I was researching last episode, that's why there was nothing set yet.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's been talking about it for the last 2 issues of reviving the Tales of TMNT. We already know that that's going to take place. Right. We got a little message from Gary Richardson, the CEO of Mirage at the time, talking about the show and the toys that are going to be coming out, some video games that are going to be coming out, trading cards that are coming out, like a new comic at Dreamwave, which doesn't exist anymore, based on the new cartoon.
Yes, have you read that one? There was like 5 to 8 issues or something.
Yeah, I've read it.
Yeah, it's written by Peter David too, right?
Yeah, and then LaShawn Thomas, I think, is the artist on that one.
Yeah.
But I love these right here in the back matter.
Right, this is what I was talking about. Yeah, these are like the old school designs from the 90s. So cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we love this stuff. And they're just like super, I mean, the on the next page, the drawing of whatever his name was, like Grid X or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that is so Kirby. I mean, you don't get more Kirby than that.
No. Yeah, and obviously like they changed the name, right? Like they didn't keep the same names because like this is Electro Boy, this is Captain Gravity, Mr. Blob and Grid. So all the names changed based on like what he originally did. But yeah, it's so cool to see these.
Yeah.
All the way from 93. So these are almost 10 years old, these drawings at this point.
And again, Paleo, man, if you haven't read that, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I gotta pick this up.
I keep saying that. It's so good.
Yeah, I gotta seek that out. Then we got the cover for issue 8, dude.
Yep. And then on the back, we got a nice picture of Peter Laird on top of Mount Monadnock, New Hampshire. I have stood in that very position myself. I hiked that. I lived up there in college, actually. I remember one time I was like driving a bus for like the Jewish youth group because I like wanted to drive a bus. And I'm also Jewish, and I went to this like really interesting temple up there that was round, and the rabbi played guitar. Anyway, I remember we drove through the woods, and this girl was like, "Oh, that's where." I don't need to do her voice like that. That's where Peter Laird from the Ninja Turtles lives, and I was like, "Oh my god, whoa!"
That's so cool.
And I was like, "We gotta drive past it again." And I was like, "Oh my god, are there actual turtles running around?" But yeah, so I was up in New Hampshire for a little while, and it was, you know what, only about 2 years after this. What a great story. What a great cover. So cool to see these old designs come back. The Super Turtles. So awesome, man.
Yeah,
In
dude.
April, what? And I don't think we get any resolution on this story for like 10 issues or something like that.
Yeah,
It's
it's got.
interesting because there's a lot that happens in these issues, man.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because I don't know what issue that was in, but that's why I feel like it hadn't have been one of the issues that I didn't have in my collection at the time. Because like I had like a straight run, and then there was like one or two issues missing. Then I had another little chunk. Then there was an issue missing. Then I had a couple more, and then obviously I'm missing like most of the back end of this fucking series. But yeah, I'm excited to dive into that stuff with April, and yeah, another great episode, another great issue.
Oh yeah.
Everybody listening, watching, make sure you keep following along with us. I hope you guys dig this. I know Eli and I love doing it, and
Love it.
follow Eli, all his stuff, Cosmic Line, all that good stuff down below. The links are there. Comic Lounge links are down there below as well. Hit the subscribe button and that bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid drops. And
Hit
on
it.
that note, we're out.
Peace.